Hi. Last time I posted, I talked about a book that I was reading, that I just finished called Grotesque by Natuso Kirino. And it's supposed to be a psychological thriller. Um, it's about these two prostitutes that get murdered and by the same man in Tokyo. So I'm like switching between my physical book and then my iPad. I was like going back and forth and stuff. And um, I finished this book and I kind of like sat with it. I reflected, and I will say that I really enjoyed Natuso Carino's other book Out because it was more fast paced, a lot more engaging. This one I just felt like it was more of like a focus on how these Japanese women live their lives. It was like very like character driven and less, there's definitely plot, but a lot more like why are they the way that they are and what happened, but like very like slow paced. So I have like a few excerpts. I'll read this one really quick. So this one is about one of the women that did get murdered, one of the prostitutes. Um Quote, by the way, she has like a day job and then she's a prostitute at night. So she said, my article won a newspaper prize. I'm the assistant office manager. How come I was never able to get by without saying all these things? Was it simply that I wanted to say them to customers? No, it was more than that. I had to say what I said because if I didn't, I would feel they were making fun of me. I had to be the best at everything I did. It was important to me as a woman, and that made me want to show off. I wanted men to watch me, to appraise me. Moreover, I wanted them to approve of me. That was me in a nutshell. In the final analysis, I was really just a sweet girl who needed approval. So yeah, this is exactly what I mean. Like excerpt, there's a lot of like excerpts and passages in this book about like um kind of like trying to explain why these women got into this work, especially with one of the women that was murdered, Kazu. Um, I think a lot of it has to do with, even though they're given the same opportunity to like go to this really nice, private school and have like a successful job, specifically Kazu, she still, you know, chose to be in this work field. Like, yes, she talks about how like she's in this work and like sex work because she has to support her sister and her mom. But then as you continue on with the book, you find out like her sister has like a 9 to 5 job, like she has like savings and stuff. So it just makes you wonder like why is she doing this? And I just feel like this author, I think this is what makes this book, this is what makes books good. Like when you know a book is good is when you start like, when you don't have like an answer. You know what I mean? It leaves you just wondering and questioning, like it's like never ending, you know what I mean? And I think that's a good sign of a book, a good book. Because I'm just like I've been trying to figure out like all day, and like for a couple of days since I've been reading this, I'm just like, why is she in this like in this career field like at night if she doesn't really like need it, her family doesn't like technically need it, but like she's saying like, oh yeah, it's for like my family needs, the income. I'm kind of like she keeps saying I'm like an ATM, but like her mom's like, why are you coming home so late, like blah blah blah. Like she's even voiced to her like, do you think like we need you to, do you think your sister and I need you to have this job? Like we don't. But I feel like this excerpt kind of explains his specific character and why she chose this field. Like she's just like, I think she got into this field for a couple of reasons. One, for, well, it sounds bad, but this is just my opinion. Like validation, because even like just watching this main character grow up and like how she never got validation, and the person she did have a crush on, he never reciprocated it, and you find out why later on, obviously. And just she always felt like if she just worked hard, that she will get whatever she wants. And I don't know. I just feel like this character is like very complicated. I think there's more to her, and I don't have all the answers about her. But yeah. I guess now I'm just like talking about what I enjoyed most about this book. So I really enjoyed Kazu Sato's like take on why she chose like the career that she chose, and also like um yeah, she's just like a very interesting character. And then obviously you also get the perspective of the second girl that was murdered, which is the nameless narrator's sister. She's also interesting, but I think another character I found interesting was the one that murdered these girls, these women. His name was like Zhang, I want to say. And his perspective was so crazy. Like, I watched this YouTuber talk about how she didn't really see the point of why his perspective was added. And this is what I mean about like, I don't think this book was supposed to be like a thriller, psychological, fast paced, or anything. I really think it's like a character study of how someone is like normal and then all of a sudden they do this crazy thing that just completely changes their life. And like, just like listening to people's stories about why they did what they did, which can be kind of a touchy subject because it's like, if somebody commits murder, it's like you shouldn't do that. And it's like, should we listen to those people? I don't know, that's a whole other thing. But like, I really enjoy listening to his perspective. Like, he's from China and he moves to Japan as like I think it was a migrant worker, and he was living in a terrible situation with his sister, and they were just like broke. um and like how his life just completely changed, like for the worst mostly. But yeah, I don't know, I just really enjoyed his perspective as well. Overall, I would rate this book like a 3 out of 5, mostly because I went in expecting like a very fast paced book, but I mostly got a, a character study about how, like, a character study about societal expectations on Japanese women and what that's like, especially when they're all handed the same opportunities of like attending the same school, and then like, you know what happens later on. Like, it's interesting. It's interesting, and I'm glad I read it. I don't think I'll be reading another Natuso Kirino, to be honest with you. I think I should have stopped when I read out, but no regrets, you know? No regrets.